greetings and welcome back to my channel and another sewing podcast, or perhaps we should call it a sewcast. You might have noticed that I was not around last week, which was because of several different reasons. One being the Stockholm Sewing and Crafts Festival that ate up a large chunk of my time. The other being that one of my sewing machines had a complete meltdown and I had to take basically a whole day to try to figure out what was wrong with it. So my sewing projects have kind of been on the back burner for a while. I did have to do some sewing for the festival as well, which I haven't counted into my monthly makes or anything. So there has been less sewing, and also there is a lot of stuff happening in the knitting part of my business, which means I do need to allot more time for those things. So from now on I will be doing the sewing podcast only bi-weekly. So I hope you'll bear with me for the time being. We'll see how long this lasts. I may have the opportunity to go back to doing this on a weekly basis as well eventually. So that being said, welcome back. Good to see you again. I hope you have had a lovely weeks since last time I uploaded my sewing podcast and have been sewing a lot more than I have anyway. I'm sorry, we are as usual having this hair meltdown. I don't know. I'm really starting to want to get extensions now because whatever. We're not here to talk about hair, we are here to talk about sewing. And maybe I should show you what I'm wearing first. I am wearing one of the t-shirts that I showed you earlier that I have made and that I do intend to make more of. I haven't gotten to that point though this week, so this past couple of weeks. However, I have been sewing a couple of other things. First off, let's start with the darn sewing machine that had a total mental breakdown on me. I realized that there was something wrong with the top tension, or the tension of the top stitches, so I needed to fix that. And what I did was to dismember my sewing machine completely to try to figure out what was wrong and to see if I could help it somehow. And I did actually do a little bit of, get a little bit of footage of that, which I thought I would show you, because what I realized when I was researching this, trying to figure out how do I get into a sewing machine, what am I looking for, all those things, I found a lot of videos on that topic, but they were all with men. I couldn't find a single woman who had dismembered her sewing machine, and I don't get that because it's not that hard. So I did get some footage from that, and I thought I'd show you just how easy it is. Especially, now keep this in mind, I do have an old sewing machine. It is nothing electronic in this thing at all, which of course makes it a lot easier. But if you too have an older sewing machine that is starting to be, a bit sad and run down and doesn't want to do the things you want to do, there's absolutely no problem taking it apart and having a look inside yourself, giving it a good clean, to just check that everything works. And this is what it looked like when I dismembered mine. So something has happened to my sewing machine and it does not tighten the top stitch like it should. Something is wrong. It keeps pulling the bottom thread through, and that's the best I could do when I was trying to fix this problem yesterday. There is something wrong with the top tension on the machine, and I have cleaned it and I've serviced it and I've checked the needle and I've done everything and I've set the tension to the lowest possible, and I still couldn't get a better result than what I just showed you. So I am going to attempt to desiccate this machine and see if I can fix it somehow. I did, when this happened, I heard as if something broke in here. So I think something is needs to be fixed there. Hopefully it's something I can somehow manage to get my way into to actually find out what it is, and hopefully also fix on my own. But I suspect I might have to order some spare parts for it. But we'll see. Okay, so far so good. I have loosened the cover on the back here, and I removed this cover on the side here. And I think the problem is somewhere in here on the other side of this plastic piece. So my next step is to attempt to remove that, and I will see what I'll find. So the machine is now naked, and this is where there's a problem, and I'm not quite sure what it is yet. This is where the top tension happens for the thread, and it is now, let's see, that's where it should be the most tight, but you see it's not tight at all. And this is where it's supposed to be looser, and which it's actually tighter for some reason. Not sure what's going on here, so I have to try to figure that one out also. So this is where we are at. I have made a lot of adjustments on the tension discs up top, and I've also made some on the lower, on the bobbin as well, and this is where we're at right now. It's not perfect, but it's okay. I can live with this. Oh, sorry, there's a lot of loose ends here. I don't know if you can see it, but you can make out the, it does tend to pull it through to the back instead now, but it's hardly visible, so I can live with that. This is good enough to finish what I was planning on making for today, and hopefully for doing a few more sewing projects before I have to actually buy a new sewing machine. So yeah, I'm going to get this baby dressed again, and I'm ready to roll. Okay, there we go. See, it is not a big deal at all, and it's not really complicated when you open it up and try to, you know, have a look at all the stuff inside and try to figure out how to clean it and fix whatever is wrong. However, I was not able to actually determine what was wrong with the machine. I think I showed you this little piece that kind of fell down from somewhere in the area where the tension is for the top thread, and I just couldn't figure out where that piece was supposed to go. It was absolutely impossible. I couldn't find anything that was broken. I couldn't find any place where it would actually be put in place and have a function. So I ended up omitting that piece. I have no idea where that was supposed to go. I did, as you saw, I was able to adjust the tensions and the tension discs and get it to sew a little bit better, but it's not perfect, and I do realize that I shall have to get a new sewing machine eventually, probably sooner than later. Right now I do not have the budget for that, but I'm hoping I will be able to do that later this year. So, on to sewing or not. Let's talk about what you will not be seeing in this episode. Remember how I found out that something was wrong with my sewing machine? I was trying to set in the sleeves for the Tosti coat, and it just wouldn't work. I had the hardest time. Everything went wrong with that project. And if you have seen the previous couple of episodes, you do know that this is a project that has been fighting me from the start. It was a struggle. I learned a lot. it was very interesting to do these pockets and the setting in of the zippers in the pockets and all that. And yeah, I learned a lot, but it wasn't a fun project. And once my sewing machine started acting up and, you know, it didn't want to work and I had a hard time getting in the sleeves and all that, and I was stressed because I was going to the festival and I had a lot of stuff to do before that, I just kind of lost steam on that project. And seeing as that is a project that doesn't have a recipient at the moment, I just simply decided that I'm going to Marie Kondo that thing into hibernation indefinitely. Because that thing is not bringing me any joy at the moment. I do want to finish it because it's still a very good learning experience. I still have all the stuff for it, and you know, someday there might be someone who actually wants this coat. Maybe I want it. Who knows? But at the time being, I'm feeling that it just, I'm done with that for the time being. I need to have more fun projects. I need to get on to doing the things that I really want to do. And also I was starting to feel kind of stressed because I do have this year-long plan of my monthly makes that I want to do, and I realized that I was more than halfway through February and I still haven't done a single of my monthly makes. Not even one. So, you know, away with the Tosti coat. It's, like I said, I Marie Kondo'd it into hibernation indefinitely, and it will remain there until I someday hopefully feel inspired to get back to that project. But for the time being, no. And it felt really, really good. So I'm filming this. This is February 25th. It's only a few days left of the month, and I really need to get going on my monthly makes. And if you recall, my theme for February was wardrobe staples, I believe. So that is what I have been trying to get going on. And the first thing I made was actually, I have made a sweater from an old sweater that I had. One that was so ugly I couldn't even take a picture of it because it was torn, it looked awful. But I love that sweater, and in particular I loved sleeping in that sweater. So when I finally came to the point that I decided that I wanted to make a new one of those, I had to decide how to do the pattern. I have been looking online and I haven't found a pattern that was quite what I wanted. So I was kind of coming to the point where I realized that I might have to pick apart this sweater to use it as a pattern for the new one. But it's one of my favorite sleepwear items. So, well, I did it. Eventually I did it. If you follow me on Instagram, you already know this. I did pick it apart and use it as a pattern for my new sweater, which is the first finished item of my monthly makes. And this is what it looks like. I don't know if you can see, I'll try to back up a little. It's just a plain, big, comfy, snuggly sweater. Nothing in particular about this, really. I did, however, the sleeves were longer on the original. This is more like a long t-shirt kind of sleeve. But it's okay, I'm actually happy with this as well. This is a very, very soft and snuggly fabric. And yeah, very quick and easy make. I will most definitely be making more of this, but I think I will lengthen the sleeves though for the upcoming one, because I do enjoy having at least like a 3/4 sleeve. And I also made a mistake. Can you see? I started the ribbing for the neck at the wrong place. I should have done this in the back, towards one of the back seams. But I have decided that it's a feature. So, I don't mind. Don't care at all. So this is something I will probably be wearing a lot during spring and summer. Perhaps not when it's really warm, but you know, on chilly evenings and stuff like that. I expect I will be living in this one. So, the second make I have this far is a pair of tights, and these are the McCall's 7261, and I made the tights with the different color on the middle of the leg. And this was an odd pattern. It had some weird, I don't know, weird angles. So it was kind of like just a point of fabric every here and there that I just had to cut off when assembling this. So I don't know what happened there, if the pattern is just written weird or whatever it is. But I did manage to get a pair of tights assembled. They're not completely finished. This is what I got this far. Can you see those? Oh, I'm a bit too short for this. Like that. Now, first of all, I haven't finished the topper, or the yoke they're calling it. So I'm adding a band up here in the same light gray color. For these, I need to hem the bottom. And also, I don't know, don't they look big? I mean, it's a pair of tights. I think they look, I don't know, maybe I'm not a bit big. But it is, yeah, I guess. Lying in the flat, I guess it might look a bit big. But I did also read somewhere that the patterns from the big four, the big five, tend to be very, very large. And I'm starting to realize that myself as well, especially from for bottom wear, like pants and stuff. I have encountered that problem previously with a pair of pants that I made. I think that was McCall's pattern as well. That I did, granted, I did add a little bit to the size I had chosen, just to make sure that I had the width that I needed over my hips. I got quite wide hips, and it ended up being huge, humongous, and I think I could have gone down at least 2 sizes and, you know, not add anything extra to get a good fit. So we'll see. I am excited to try these on, and yeah, I don't know, I've been kind of on a tights kind of kick the past few months. It's I don't know, nice, comfortable to wear, easy to dress with, you know, maybe a dress or a tunic or whatever. So yeah, but like I said, I have, like, in every section here, maybe it was the inside, there was this odd kind of fabric that pointed out that I had to just cut off while sewing. Very, very peculiar. So these will be done later today after filming, is my plan. And I also do have, I don't know, if you follow my my knitcast, you know that I bought some glittery yarn to have some effect yarn for I'm sorry, at the festival. And while making this, I'm kind of thinking that I do have some kind of grey, granite grey yarns in merino cashmere, and I'd like to make a top out of that with the sparkles, and that would look good with this. So I don't know. I do enjoy breaking the rules when it comes to different styles and stuff, but maybe I'm taking it a little bit too far on this one. We'll see, we'll see. But there might be a knit cast on to go with these, or go with these as well, later tonight. So yeah, that is the makes I've got this far this month. I haven't had time to sew anything else, but I did manage to get my sewing machine up and running, and I do have more fabric, I do have a lot of ideas. So yeah, that is it for this week then. Not much of results to show, I'm afraid. However, I am planning on getting in some more sewing during the last few days of February to get a few more items into my monthly makes with the February theme. So next time I am filming, you will see the total results of for February, and I will also be talking about what I am making for March, my monthly mix for March, which I'm really looking forward to getting started on. So until next time, I hope you are all well and having very good functioning sewing machines and getting a lot of stuff made. And yeah, nice of you to drop by, and I hope to see you soon again. Bye!